If I told you that the final moments of this potent planetary cycle are about to lock in your financial reality for the next decade, would you listen? What if I revealed that an extraordinary alignment is about to shift? This isn't just inspiration or borrowed theory. It's tied to a deep cosmic transition, a rare completion that happens only once in a generation. A major planetary cycle is concluding. In mystical philosophy, the end of a grand cycle signifies profound release, sudden clarity, and a quiet inner revolution. Many spiritually sensitive individuals can already sense it. A deeper stillness inside, sharper instincts, and a subtle knowing that a significant shift is near. In times like these, the cosmos doesn't shout. It communicates through synchronicity. You might start seeing certain number sequences everywhere, on license plates, digital clocks, transaction totals, or important dates that suddenly stand out. These aren't accidents. In ancient wisdom traditions, repetition is a form of guidance. It's a gentle, persistent way your own awareness is nudging you toward alignment. This closing cycle governs intuition and the hidden currents of existence. As it completes, a brief portal of energy opens, a period when intentions crystallize faster, decisions gain clarity, and the mind becomes a powerful receiver for abundance. Some feel uneasy during this shift, others feel an unexpected peace. The difference is conscious attention. Here on Winds of Thought, we don't chase external success, we cultivate an internal state that attracts it. This unique phase offers a rare chance to understand the signals pointing you toward growth and genuine prosperity. Stay until the very end because there is a final, silent number most people overlook, not because it's weak, but because its power operates in absolute stillness. Before we move forward, pause for a second. Comment "I am open" below. Like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought for insights that bridge timeless wisdom with modern life. Now let's begin. We start with the number 7, an A, number that doesn't seek the spotlight, yet quietly architects the kind of lasting success that endures. 7 doesn't arrive with fanfare or sudden windfalls. Instead, it works gradually, beneath the surface, fortifying the very bedrock of your reality. It represents advancement that is sensed internally long before it manifests externally, and stability that forms in the quiet long before any reward is visible. As this major cycle concludes, many feel pulled toward introspection rather than action. This is where 7 becomes incredibly potent. While society prizes speed and instant gratification, 7 aligns with this cosmic turn by teaching deep patience, sacred balance, and internal harmony. It reminds you that authentic wealth is constructed in silence, through unwavering consistency, personal discipline, and choices made daily without any external validation. In daily life, the vibration of 7 appears in small, significant routines, starting the day with purpose, persisting when enthusiasm fades, selecting long-term integrity over short-term ease. These moments might seem trivial, but during this planetary shift, they carry immense weight. What you dedicate yourself to now begins to sink deep roots. From a philosophical perspective, 7 reflects the essence of conscious action, not frantic struggle, but the mindful channeling of energy. It is building without depleting your spirit. 7 teaches that true achievement isn't about exhausting the self, but about safeguarding your inner clarity and nurturing resilience over time. On a cosmic level, 7 vibrates with disciplined ancient energy, the patient guide that rewards authenticity and steadfastness. Just as this closing cycle dissolves delusions, 7 eliminates false promises and quick fixes. It offers unshakable stability, only to those willing to honor timing, truth, and soul-level alignment. The prosperity it brings isn't fleeting, it is solid, deeply rooted, and resilient. In mystical symbolism, 7 represents a sacred balance across all layers of being. It mirrors the fluctuating nature of consciousness, and reminds us that every thought, deed, and intention sends ripples outward in every direction. During this rare cosmic window, those ripples travel with greater force and farther reach. As this period unfolds, let the energy of 7 ground you. Create structure. Trust gradual progress. Let patience become your greatest strategic asset, because real abundance doesn't burst into your life. It settles in silently, like a mountain forming grain by grain over eons. And stay close, because while 7 builds your foundation, the next number introduces magnetic pull, the force that draws opportunity directly toward you during this powerful transition. Now we turn to the number 11, a number so common we rarely contemplate its deeper role in our journeys. We use it to tally, to mark progress, to signify a pair or a portal. From objectives met to chapters closed, 11 subtly accompanies our sense of arrival. But in the language of universal rhythm, 11 is not a finish line, it is a gateway. As this long planetary journey completes, we all enter a similar pause, a moment where old definitions soften and new directions start to whisper from just ahead. 11 mirrors this perfectly. It symbolizes the still point between epochs, where conclusions gently dissolve and fresh intentions begin to take form in the quiet. In mystical understanding, existence doesn't progress in a straight line. It spirals, cycles, and regenerates, just as the tide must recede before it can return. 11 represents that sacred interval. The silence between heartbeats, the calm before new momentum gathers. It is not a void, but a gathering. During this shift, many feel a strange sense of expectancy, a quiet stirring, a feeling that something is concluding, even if nothing obvious has ended. This is the frequency of 11 moving through your awareness, softly signaling that a chapter has fulfilled its purpose. Look back on your own path, the effort you maintained when no one was watching, the quiet doubts you carried, the times you nearly quit but chose to continue. 11 assures you that nothing was in vain. Every experience refined you, every seeming delay actually prepared you. You have covered more ground than you know. In profound teaching, equilibrium is the passage to peace. 11 holds that equilibrium, equal parts contemplation and new beginning. It whispers, pause, not because you are lost, but because you are preparing. Even if the next step isn't fully visible, the ground beneath you is already changing. If you've felt weary or unclear recently, understand this. 11 is cosmic reassurance. This pause is not inertia, it is integration. This closing cycle dispels mirages, and 11 invites lucidity. Transformation here arrives not through strain, but through receptive allowing. Tonight, take a moment of true quiet. Notice what feels complete in your world, a pattern, a belief, a season, and gently observe what new space is being created. When you sync with the energy of 11, you cease chasing results and begin flowing naturally with them. 11 is not your ending, it is your awakening. And if this message from Winds of Thought connects with you, you can express resonance by hitting the thanks button below. In wisdom traditions, giving isn't obligation, it is an open hand. What is offered freely creates a vacuum, and that vacuum is where abundance naturally flows to fill. Now we encounter the number 22, a number that holds the power of serenity in a world obsessed with noise. Contemporary life seldom permits silence. Our days are saturated with notifications, demands, and perpetual motion, fostering the illusion that busyness equals advancement. Yet, during the finale of this major cycle, many are being softly guided toward a counterintuitive truth. Slowing down isn't lagging behind. It is recalibration. The energy of 22 doesn't command hustle or strain. It invites tranquil awareness. As this cycle clears mental static and emotional fog, this number imparts the wisdom of stepping inward rather than charging outward. It reminds you that genuine success isn't born from velocity, but from moving in sync with divine timing. 22 represents attunement, knowing precisely when to act and when stillness holds supreme power. In mystical insight, patience is not idle waiting, it is conscious abiding. It is the capacity to perceive clearly, to sense when the inner self is settled enough for the next phase to unfold organically. During this transition, those who honor this rhythm discover clarity without friction. Within this number lives a profound equilibrium. The energy of spiritual connection merges with pragmatic stability, creating a synergy where inner peace actively supports outer manifestation. This cycle's culmination magnifies this balance, making intuitive wisdom and disciplined effort partners instead of rivals. Living in harmony with 22 doesn't require retreat or extreme practice. It starts with tiny moments of presence, a slower cup of tea, a conscious breath before responding, a point of thankfulness at day's end, a walk with full attention. These simple pauses generate space, and space is where lucidity enters. As you return to this still center, something subtle but monumental shifts. Existence stops feeling like a competition. You no longer pursue openings. They begin to recognize you. This is the quiet might of 22. When your energy becomes calm and coherent, your destiny becomes unmistakably clear. Prosperity doesn't flow toward fatigue, it flows toward poise. Now we arrive at the number 44, a number that rarely visits without significant purpose. When it enters your field of notice, it acts like a soft but direct inquiry from the source, asking you gently yet firmly, are you living from your own soul's truth, or from scripts that were never authored by you? As this grand cycle completes, countless people experience a subtle internal realignment. Not dramatic, not loud, but undeniable. A sense that certain roles now feel constricting. That well-worn routines no longer suit the person you are evolving into. 44 carries this precise vibration. It marks the instant when inner awakening starts to supersede outer compliance. Authentic transformation doesn't crash into your reality. It arrives as a quiet discontent, as a feeling that something is off, even when everything appears normal on the outside. The frequency of 44 reminds you that you are not the sum of the titles you've held, the approvals you've gained, or the survival paths you've walked. It calls you to step into a more authentic expression, one that feels anchored, truthful, and quietly self-assured. Within this number resides a potent synthesis. One aspect of its energy ignites creativity, authentic voice, and heartfelt joy, the impulse to discover, to make, to feel truly vibrant again. The other aspect provides foundation, discernment, and emotional maturity. This concluding cycle dissolves falsehood, and 44 helps stabilize what emerges in the cleared space. Together, these forces allow for expansion without chaos and evolution without sacrificing serenity. Aligning with 44 during this transition is less about adding more and more about shedding what no longer fits. Archaic beliefs, outgrown identities, silent fears. As they loosen, clarity naturally occupies the vacancy. Joy becomes more accessible. Creativity moves without pressure, and the individuals around you begin to mirror your renewed frequency. The core message of 44 is not flawlessness, it is preparedness, readiness to trust your inner guidance, readiness to select your route without requiring external consent, readiness to accept that abundance isn't a prize you must suffer to earn, but a natural echo of your authenticity. As one vast chapter closes and another prepares to open, 44 stands as a beacon. When you live in alignment with who you truly are, life ceases to oppose you, it cooperates. And if this insight from winds of thought speaks to your path, you can show support through the thanks button. In mystical understanding, giving isn't about quantity but the quality of openness behind it. What is given with a sincere heart returns in kind, magnified. Now we approach the number 13 not as a digit of superstition, but as a fundamental pattern, a rhythm that orchestrates reality so subtly most never discern it. Yet during this potent window, especially as a major cycle concludes, 13 begins to surface more frequently for those whose awareness is heightening. 13 does not arrive as chance. It arrives as inherent order. Observe the world closely, and you'll detect its imprint everywhere. Natural systems organize themselves around its principle. Birth, maturation, and renewal move in its rhythmic pulse. This number doesn't crave attention because it is the framework, the unseen architecture that supports all movement, balance, and continuity. As this cycle dissolves long-held illusions and clears psychic haze, 13 appears to restore natural order. Where there was disarray, pattern emerges. Where chaos reigned, rhythm reasserts itself. This is why, during this cosmic turning, many feel a compelling urge to slow their pace and observe rather than impulsively react. 13 reflects universal harmony, not a static perfection, but dynamic balance in flow. The cosmos structures itself through this principle. Even our stories, the very fabric of human meaning, are built upon its archetypal stages. This isn't mere numerology, this is intelligent design. And now, under the influence of this significant closure, a moment when perception is sharpened, 13 begins to communicate more distinctly. It reminds you that life does not proceed randomly. It proceeds in sacred cycles. What rises must integrate, what ends must make space for rebirth, what feels postponed is often aligning perfectly. In esoteric teaching, this comprehension is deep, seen in the stages of awakening. The process that shows how every insight gives rise to understanding, every understanding to action, and every action to manifestation. Nothing arises without a seed. Nothing fades without leaving wisdom. When you comprehend the sequence, you gain mastery within it. Reflect on times when your mind felt turbulent, when thoughts churned and perspective vanished. That storm didn't begin suddenly. It began with a single unnoticed trigger. 13 teaches awareness at the origin. When you see where a pattern initiates, you are no longer captive to it. You navigate with intention. This is why 13 is never hasty. It abides. Like a presence that knows timing better than impulse. Like a strength that moves only when coherence is total. During this transition, those who act from awareness rather than urgency find their way smoothing effortlessly. So when 13 surfaces again in your experience, don't dismiss it. Let it remind you that life unfolds through rhythm, not force. That abundance responds to synchronization, not struggle. 13 isn't luck. 13 is alignment, a silent signal from the universe saying, be still, stay centered. What is destined for you is already on its way. And stay until the end, because beyond 13 exists something even more foundational, a final frequency that doesn't just attract wealth, but fundamentally transforms your relationship with it. What comes next could redefine your understanding of clarity, purpose, and true prosperity itself. Have you ever observed how specific number pairs seem to follow you through mundane moments? On a phone percentage, a digital clock, a receipt total, you look once, then again, and there it is, 99%. Most people write it off as random chance, but in a conscious universe, recurrence is never accidental. It is awareness tapping gently, asking for your attention. As this monumental cycle finalizes, perception sharpens, illusions fall away, intuition strengthens, and subtle signs become clearer to those who are watching. This is why sequences like 99 start appearing more often during pivotal transitions. They aren't predictions, they are validations. 99% is not merely a symbol, it is a vibration, a steady pulse of completion, wisdom, and imminent new beginnings. Its form tells its story visually. Two circles resting in perfect symmetry, with no true start and no absolute end. Rotate it and it suggests the infinite. A reminder that energy is never destroyed, it only transforms. In mystical paths, 9 holds deep meaning as the number of culmination and conscious completion. When it appears doubled, its significance amplifies. It calls for profound closure, for release with understanding, and for heightened awareness as one chapter ends and the next awaits. Not through superstition, but through conscious living in tune with natural law. During this cosmic transition, 99 gently reminds you to complete what is unfinished, to slow down, to release the urge for one more rushed endeavor. This concluding cycle dissolves lingering attachments, and 99% supports what is built with wisdom and release. True prosperity in this phase emerges through thoughtful conclusion, mindful release, and trust in the new cycle about to dawn. At its heart, the energy of 99 is trust in transition. Abundance truly begins the moment you trust the process of release as much as the process of receiving. When letting go and moving forward harmonize, effort feels purposeful. You stop clinging to old signs and begin recognizing you are already in alignment with a greater flow. So take a deep, calming breath and let this message integrate. The next time 99 appears before you, receive it with a knowing nod. It is a reminder you are flowing with the current of cosmic timing, not against it. If this message resonates, like the video, subscribe to Winds of Thought and comment below, I trust the flow. Because transformation rarely arrives with a roar. It whispers. And when you learn to listen, you realize you were never off path, only deepening in awareness. I'll see you in the next video.